Hey, what's up? And thanks for tuning in to the Piscifun YouTube channel. Today we're going to go over the breakdown and maintenance of the Phantom X Baitcaster. This tutorial will also cover the Phantom Baitcaster as well, as the internal components are similar. Okay, let's get started.
Alright, we're going to show you the breakdown on the Piscifun Phantom X. The breakdown on the Phantom reel is the same as the Phantom X also. So the first thing you're going to do, take your Phillips head screwdriver and you're going to take your keeper off. And as you take it apart, lay everything out. The purpose in doing that is that way you never forget what came what. Next, you're going to take a 10mm. You can use a ratchet or socket, or also most of our reels come with a little wrench in them also. So you're going to just take and loosen it. Lay your nut out there, pull your handle off, lay the handle out. Okay, next is your star drag. You're going to take and spin it backwards. And as you take this off, before it comes all the way off, tilt the reel upside down. That way all of your washers fall right inside of the star drag. That way you know the exact order that it went. The next thing you're going to do, push the button on the side and turn down to take the side plate off. Lay that up there and then push your spool out. Next step, you have one screw inside of here, and then you have 1, 2, 3 screws right there. Take your Phillips head screwdriver and take them out as well. And as I take these screws out, I lay everything in the pattern that they are in the frame. Reason being, some of these reels will have different size screws and you don't want to get them mixed up. Next is the screw inside. And as you're taking this screw out, hold on to the frame so it doesn't pop apart on you. That way you can see exactly how the inside goes, which is fine. Pull straight up. Next step you're going to do is you're going to grab a hold of your drag washer and put your finger on top of it so it does not come apart. Pull straight up and just wiggle and it'll pop right off. Sit it over to the next thing you're going to do is you're going to pull the ratchet off. Pull it straight up, sit it over here to the side with the carbon fiber disc. Now you're to the inside of your reel. You do not have to take the clutch out, you can leave that in there, but to grease it, all you do, take your little brush, which is what I use to keep things nice and neat, and you're just going to paint the teeth on the gear. It doesn't take a whole lot of lube on it. Just put a nice even coat, and what it'll do, as you spin it, you see it's taking it up in the other teeth as well. That's all you got to do. Just a little bit goes a long way. Is you're going to take your lube, and your spool has a bearing on it. Put a drop on there. Your side plate has a bearing as well. You're going to put a drop on there. I suggest do not put more than 2 drops, just because you want just enough to coat it, but not enough to slow the bearing down. Then you have a bearing right here in the side. Take and put you a drop in there, and that's all there is to it.
All right, we broke it down. Now let's put it back together.
first thing, don't forget your ratchet. Put it on there, and you'll just move it around to where it falls right down on there. Next thing, you have a little carbon fiber disc that goes on top of the ratchet. Push it down on there. And the point in that disc is it gives you a little bit of extra smoothness in that reel to where you're not feeling the insides moving around. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your main gear, put it on there, hold it on top, and just wiggle it around there until it falls down, and then move it around to where the washers fall in. And then what I use whenever I build reels is I use a little pick, and it'll let you get in there to where you can push it around and it'll fall right in. So after you have your main gear on, you're going to put your side plate back on. And you'll just wiggle around there and it'll sit right down on there. Okay. First, take your screw on the inside by holding the outside and the inside of the reel together so it doesn't fall apart on you, and screw that screw right there back in. And then you're going to put your other screws back in the frame. And guys, building a reel is too easy. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to do this. So, put your other screw back in. And like I said before, take things apart, lay it in order. That way you know exactly how it's going back together. And then take and put your last screw back in. Alright. Next thing you're going to do, you're going to put your bearing back in. Or your handle bearing, sorry. Put the washer back on top. Slide it down there. Then you're going to put your star drag back on next. And I suggest doing this at least once a year to your reels. I generally do it twice to my personal reels. And if you have an issue with getting your star drag to click back in, just take your handle and set it up on there to hold it, and you can tighten it back down. Okay. Alright, next step you're going to do is you're going to put your spool back in. It's a good idea to take and tie the line up, or put you a little piece of tape on it to hold the line down, because if not, it'll get hung up in the frame and it doesn't want to go back together then. Next, you're going to take your side plate, put it back on, give it a twist to lock it back in. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to put your handle back on. Then you have that little washer that goes on top. And twist your nut back on. And then just put your keeper. And then you can always spin that little keeper around to where you need it so that the screw will go back in. That's all there is to it.
Thanks for tuning into the breakdown and maintenance video for the Phantom and Phantom X casting reels. If you're interested in more maintenance videos, check them out below.